Today is December 4th, 2021, and here's a small update on that Nirvana lawsuit. The one where the baby on the cover of Nirvana Nevermind, Spencer Elden, has sued Nirvana, the remaining band members, and anyone else he could think of in order to get some money. It's obviously a money grab. It's a frivolous lawsuit, but in any case, as of the end of last month, he filed an amended lawsuit, and pretty much the same claims, but one thing he did notably is he took Chad Channing out of the lawsuit. So Chad Channing was a prior drummer for Nirvana. I had been critical about that in my last video, so maybe he saw my video, maybe that's why, probably not. Anyway, he took off Chad Channing. He's still got most of the people involved. He's got Nirvana, he's got Universal Records, David Geffen Company, he's got Kurt Cobain Estate, he's got Courtney Love, Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl, he's got Robert Fisher, who was the photographer of that iconic photo of the cover of Nevermind. In the new complaint, Spencer Elden is still contending that this photograph of himself when he was 4 months old is child pornography. Now, this is a crazy argument. That would mean that every single person who has ever owned the Nirvana Nevermind album, CD, tape, vinyl, even online if it's got that photograph, would be in possession of child pornography and potentially distribution if they ever gave or let somebody borrow that album, which would set a just insane precedent. I am absolutely sure that this case will either be thrown out, possibly a settlement if the defendants choose to just give some money to make this go away. But I hope not, because that would set a terrible precedent. I hope they fight this case. I would offer my services pro bono to Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl, if they wanted to, because this is just outrageous and it's not right. This should be fought. This should be dismissed, and perhaps there should be a countersuit. He tries to say that because there was a dollar bill on the end of a fish hook, that somehow that represents him as a sex worker and posing nude for money. This is a frivolous argument. How many people have taken photographs of their children in the bath? How many people have taken photographs of their children just being born and those children are naked? Nobody in their right mind would consider those photographs sexual in any way, shape, or form. This is clearly a way for Spencer Elden to try to monetize his 4-month-old self's posing of a photograph. If he's got any beef with anybody, it should be his parents. They're the ones that agreed to do this. They're the ones that got paid to do this. He shouldn't even have standing to file this lawsuit. It's frivolous. I hope that it gets dismissed. I hope that he's punished with sanctions, as a judge can do. He can be punished with monetary sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit and making false claims against the remaining members of Nirvana and the other people named in the lawsuit. Now, an interesting part of this lawsuit is that there was this Nirvana fan. His name's Timothy Fredrickson. He tried to file as an intervener. Now, an intervener is somebody who's not a party to the lawsuit, but somebody who seeks to become a party to the lawsuit. And in this case, interestingly, he tried to become an intervener as a defendant rather than a plaintiff, which is most typical for somebody seeking to come into a lawsuit. They want to come in because they're trying to go after somebody for money, not to subject themselves as a defendant. Now, interestingly, Timothy Fredrickson, who filed this complaint to intervene, he talks about how he bought a copy of Nevermind in the early 2000s while he was in high school. He still owns it today. He talks about how if this was perceived as child pornography, then he himself would be in possession of it. He even talks about how he plans to go on a road trip to California and listen to the song Smells Like Teen Spirit and the album Nevermind. Kind of an unusual stunt. He files it on his own. There's no lawyer involved, but it's certainly there on the court docket for everybody to see. I'm not sure exactly what his plans were, but it's an interesting turn of events. So as of now, none of the defendants have filed an answer. That should come fairly soon. We expect that all of them will file answers. And as of now, it looks like all of them are represented, all the defendants are represented by the same person, Bert Dexler. Never heard of him. He's probably some industry suit, probably works for the record companies and probably just providing this as part of a contract between Nirvana, the companies that are being sued, and they appear to just all have the same attorney. So anyway, I'll try to update as this case goes along. And again, if anybody knows Dave Grohl or Chris Novoselic, I'd be happy to offer my services for free because I think this is the right thing to do.